Welcome to the Biba frequency, home to conversations with consciousness. I'm Biba, your host. Hey folks, this is Biba here from the Biba Frequency podcast. My name is Biba Logan and I'm your host to Conversations with Consciousness. I have a very wonderful guest on today. His name is Tommy Ellis. And Tommy Ellis is a clairaudient energy facilitator. He's a dear friend of mine. I've done a lot of work with him personally over the years. And we are part of a group called the Light Being Meditation Group. And how I would describe Tommy is somebody who's authentic, bold, curious, gifted, resilient. And he's so full of love that there's nothing you could work through with him that would be an objection to him. He has no filters, so he's not interested in anything other than you experiencing what you are. And in this podcast, it was my intention to just allow him to talk and to inform the audience that there's an option available to them where they can be free from the habitual habits, the addictions, the repetitive patterns, the programming. And it's a very real conversation. It's a very honest conversation. And if you're interested in Tommy's work, check out his website on velvetvoice.ie. This is a conversation that's real and it's honest. So if you like politically correct conversations, you're not going to like this podcast. If you like everything to be frilled up and made easy, you're not going to like this podcast. If you like down and dirty and real and honest and true and beautiful and where the light abides, you're going to like this podcast. So for those of you who are still listening, enjoy and see you on the other side.
Ignition.
And lift off. Welcome,
And
my
lift
friend.
off.
Tommy.
B, here we
Tommy,
are.
you made it. We are, or are we?
Well, yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Please.
Okay, because I'm not smart enough to computationally sit down and work it out. Other people have done it and they can't find it. They can't find any of it. So if somebody is listening to this podcast, go and look at an author called Donald Hoffman and check out some of his work. And he even finds the answer to his work quite difficult. He finds it he finds it a lot. And within Donald Hoffman's work, his book is called A Case Against Reality. What we've taken to be so in this place isn't. It just isn't. So again, what we've taken to be so in this place, it just isn't. We don't see reality. We don't see reality. We see through a prism of a personality, and that's spelled P-R-I-S-M. But actually, it's P-R-I-S-O-N. It's like a prison that we look through into this place. So Donald Hoffman, A Case Against Reality, Space-Time is Doomed, those type of ideas are basically the top mathematicians, statisticians, and quantum physicists have looked at physical reality. One of the people that he would mention is Jaitan Prakash, there's Donald Hoffman, there's Nima Arkani Hamed, there's these various different people that are computationally, mathematically looking for reality. Okay? They can't find it. They can't find it. So whatever this is, it's not what we take it to be. So little pieces of physical reality that get studied. If you take a little bit of stone or a little bit of tree or a little bit of anything, and you dig down into the subatomic and then into the gluons and the leptons and the other small pieces, it gets to a point where it's like, we don't know. We just don't know what this is. And not only do we not know what it is, but what we think is here isn't here. They think they're called cosmological polytopes and amplituhedrons. That's what these people that I've mentioned have found. And it looks like this is being projected here. So if it's being projected here, it's being projected from somewhere else. And that's what seems to be going on. And that's why, because we are all aspects of light and information, not as a spiritual trope, not as a reality. As a reality, the light of what we take ourselves to be is shining in here to have this experience. And when we get shone in here, we forget what we are. So when this light gets blown in at the speed of light into 3D space and time, we put on a virtual reality helmet that says, I'm Tommy, I'm Biba, I'm Patricia, I'm Ken, I'm Rachel, I'm Joaquin, I'm Brona, I'm whoever. And the list goes on and on. So when I take myself to be that Tommy, I think reality's real. Why? Because I've got seeing, feeling, tasting, touching, hearing. I've got 5 sense perceptions. And now here I am in space-time, and I'm Tommy. No, you're not. You just stop it. Just stop. Because it's not true. All the Ramanas, all the Mahatmas, all the I and my Father are one. What is that? Exactly. It's one. So non-duality means not two, which equals it's one. There's nothing separated here. When it gets down to that quantum soup, nothing's separated. It's all one thing, one consciousness, one blackness, one all of that type of thing. So when you start to understand very clearly, I'm not this and I'm not that, you start to kind of adjudicate reality differently. Well, what am I? What am I? And when the perturbations of the animated character, the Tommy character, when his perturbations are lowered and the volume, the amplitude of the Tommy bullshit is lowered, what happens is it gives rise to a cleaner, more abundant form of light. You don't have to achieve the light of what you are, because you are it. You don't have to achieve it, you're already it. So all you have to do is consider denying, dissolving, dispelling the lie of the personality. I haven't got enough. I'm angry. I'm all these lower perturbations in the body. The lower energy centers have a darker chemistry when they're dysfunctional. And the darker chemistry, in case you haven't noticed, is what's currently building the hologram. So it looks like a kind of a dark hologram being ran by some dark magi's. Well, how does it change? It changes when you stop moving the dark, lower energy centers in your body into the world, and something else moves into the world. You literally will change the world by changing how you feel, because how you feel is the radio station that you're billowing into this place. So people want to be Tommy. They want to be Biba. They want to be Patricia. They want, like, I've been told that I'm Tommy since I'm 3-4 years of age. Yeah, but it was never so. It's not true. I don't know what people are going to do with that, but if you keep on taking yourself to be that which you aren't, you're going to be beholden to the problems that you've had. Have you noticed that the problems of the personality never go away and they just repeat? Why do they just repeat? They just repeat because your lower energy centers are being hit with a particular type of light, and your frustration, your rage, your lack, the desire for more The lower three energy centers in your body will never be satiated. They'll never be full. They'll never have enough money. They'll never have the right relationship. They'll never have the right psychedelic. They'll never have the right shaman, and on and on and on it goes until you say, I'm done. And what are you done with? The lie. Done with the lie of I'm Tommy. I'm fucking not. It's obvious I'm not. And if you don't see that obviousness in you, good luck, Buttercup, because you're going to trail through this hologram thinking that you're something that you're not. And if you get a flavor of what you are, what happens in this place is everything changes. There's a pure and holy presence of this light, this higher frequency light that starts to move through you and starts for its own excitement, its own joy, its own wholeness starts to move through, and then you get to know what you are. You'll know the tree by its fruits. You'll know the tree by its fruits, and you'll know what you're not through those lower energy centers billowing and dictating to you all day, every day. When you start to disallow that, this other thing shows up. And here's the thing, it's just amazing that the lower three energy centers is like a shell game in New York in 1985. He's just swapping the thing out. You think you know what it's under. He picks up the cup and there it is, and then bang, he goes again. So your ego, your lower energy centers, or you can call it the adversary, you can call it whatever you want. He's a master shell game, and wants to keep the shell game going, wants to keep it going, and uses you as the vehicle. So when you're angry, it sounds like you, and it looks like you, and it moves like you, and I'm angry, and yeah, but you're being taken. You're being got. You're being got because it seems like it's you. Turn the light of what you are onto what you're not, and start calling it out, and start seeing that the lower energy centers can play shamanistic dress up. Okay, so the shamanistic dress up. So you'll have people that are now serving cacao. Seems like they're serving it every 10 minutes to me. It seems like they're just dishing it out. They're running these circles and they're serving these medicines. They do not know where they're being served from. They don't know where they're being served from. They don't know that their ego has hijacked the plant medicine, the psychedelic. They don't know. So there's all of these circles running all over the place, and they're being ran by the guy that's moving the shell game. He's moving the shell game, and it can't hide. So there's a group of individuals that I heard about years ago that were starting to run psilocybin circles, starting to run them. First they were running them in Europe, and then they were running them here regularly. The first time I heard it had a scratch to it. I was like, that's just that note. Oh, I don't care what you're saying to me. Something's up. And I said to this person and this person, are you getting that sound? Do you get that? Some people, yeah, some people, no. 7 years later, mayhem. Because that which is playing that shell game with what you're not, down there in New York in 1985, thinking you see that shit under that cup? No, you're getting played. And now that shell game is handing out psilocybin. Now that shell game is handing out ayahuasca. And people are wondering, why am I not changing? You're not changing because your lower energy centers went out and found the plant medicine, went out and found the ayahuasca, and went out. You want to feel better, but you want to go out into the world and feel better without changing. You don't want to change. You want, well, I'm Tommy. I have a problem, so I'm going to go to Peru and drink ayahuasca. And I'm going to vomit for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to be purged, clean, clear. Okay, born again, knock yourself out. It's the same. Go to that church, the purging, the slaying of the spirit, same. And meanwhile, homeboy's in the background going, you thought you saw it under that cup, didn't you? But you missed it. So when you dissolve your personality, you're going to dissolve that which is antithetical to light in this place. You need to know that your lower energy centers are broadcasting like a radio station into 3D space and time, the lie of all lies. And the lie of all lies is that you're not okay. The lie of all lies is that you're not enough. The lie of all lies is that you're not the lie of all lies is that you're not what you've been looking for, but you are what you've been looking for. You have it within yourself. Now, you might need a couple of people to assist you to spot the shell game because they spotted the shell game. That can be helpful. When this dissolution occurs over time, you're going to see this place in a very different way, and then you're going to go to work. You're actually going to be put to work, and you'll see them. You'll see that which is outside the reality, the virtual reality helmet of the personality. Your personality and its problems are the problem. Your personality and your problems are the problem that needs to be remediated in this place. You need to dissolve your problem. You need to dissolve your problem. And you need to put it into perspective. You might as well at least 60 or 70% of the time be moving through space-time feeling good. Why not? Well, I can't feel good because of this. That's the very thing that you need to start to feel better about. You're producing autonomically at the level of your central nervous system, you're producing a problem that really, when it's investigated, it can't be found. The peace of the present moment is beckoning you, billowing. It's the radio station that you want it. If you get out of the way, the church will come through you. And it's the church of all churches, which is what? You being happy. And I'm not talking about Tommy being happy. I'm talking about you, happiness, you, goodness, you, peace, you, like that. It's not Tommy's peaceful. I've no interest in that. It doesn't work. So you have to watch out for the shell game. Because if you have a problem, then I'm going to sell you something that's got the solution. I got something to sell you. And on that goes, because the system has been built in such a way that you gotta really grok how unsatisfied it is all the time. The governments, they have to sit in rooms and think, we need to come up with another tax. It's never satisfied. And then they'll invent this, so there's a carbon tax, and it's never satisfied. And what the lower three energy centers, or the anti-life of those dysfunctional lower three energy centers, what it produces is a world that is born of that lie. And the lie is that you're free. If you go and you live in El Salvador for 108 days, you won't pay any income tax in Ireland. Because income tax is not in nature. It's in the nature of the shell game. And he picks that up and he goes, but hang on a second, there's capital gains tax on that. Pop. And then he'll get you to forget about that. Don't be worrying about, here's your income tax. Pop. Look, you owe us more. And by the way, your TV license, that's in the post. Beautiful. And on and on and on the shell game goes. You're in El Salvador or for 108 days. That's all gone.
Mm.
So that's how this place gets built. It gets built by the Prince of Lies. He is shining in blackness. It's amazing how obvious this energy is. It's amazing. And the only thing that's going to ameliorate it is love, light, peace. And that means you need to dissolve your disdain for what's going on inside your system. You have to go, okay, I got it. The work that needs to be done is all inner work. You ain't going to change nothing in a hologram. It's a hologram. You change something inside of you, you start broadcasting something different from the inside of you to the outside of you, you're going to change the hologram. You don't have to rage against the system. He's hoping that you rage against his system because your rage is the energy. It's like, gotcha. Just looking at this. Gotcha. Now, we have help for that. We have therapists for that. Go sit with the therapist that actually got qualified at 25 years of age and done no work on themselves ever. Now you're sitting with your rage with a 25-year-old therapist, and on it goes. Just keeps on swapping you out, and you're never okay. When you start to get okay and peaceful, and it starts to allow itself in, it pours in through the top of your head, it starts to move through your body, and then the broadcast starts to change. You don't have to change other people's behavior. You just have to change the negativity in the bottom part of the battery at your sacrum, your first endocrine center, second and third endocrine center. Solve them. The top of the battery opens, the electromagnetic field starts to work the way batteries are supposed to work, and you'll change this place. So you'll be being the change in the world that the hologram is looking to change up to. It's easier said than done, but it is doable. You just have to start seeing it, and you start seeing it by seeing what you're not. Yeah. So you know what I mean?
Sound is good, isn't it?
What is it? Just what is it? I'm working with it like for a long time, and I have no idea. Anybody that thinks they know what sound is, it's a wave, it's a particle, it's hitting off your cochlea, it's going to do to your brain and getting interpreted. We don't know what it is. We have no idea what it is. It's the most amazing, immeasurable, miraculous thing. And what it does is just, it's phenomenal to be able to hear, especially past the drama of the shell game. Yeah. It's very, very important. So people need to be careful about they want relief, but you need to be cognizant about how you think relief is going to come, because everything that you've done up to this point hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. You're not going to do something on the outside that's going to ameliorate that which has to happen on the inside. And what has to happen on the inside is you need to dissolve this activity in your body. And when you dissolve that activity daily, you got to meet it, because he's going to come up again. He's got different colored shells now. Now he's got 4 bigger shells, bigger prize under this if you can just follow him quick enough. It's like walk away from the shell game. Walk away from the shell game, because only your personality will connect with it. So
and he'll tantalize your ego as well to get you hooked.
My God, the amount of beautiful ponchos that are on sale. Put a little hat on, little poncho, pour a little bit of ayahuasca. Gotcha, bitches. They don't see it. They're like, it's like there's always, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. And what I'm suggesting isn't attractive. It's not attractive because nobody wants to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and dissolve the bullshit that's been billowing since 1979. They don't want to do it. Well, all right.
Because it doesn't feel good.
Doesn't feel good. Well, enjoy the shell game and enjoy the vomiting, enjoy the mescalita, enjoy all of that, because it's going to get you nowhere. I tried everything from head cases running cellular memory healing workshops 20 years ago to, I sat in every church looking for it, looking under every stone. Maybe this psychedelic. Oh, well, I smoked NN DMT, but I never smoked 5-MeO DMT. That's going to do it. Let's look under that rock. Who's under that rock? Homeboy with the shell game. Look. You missed it. You missed it.
Wow.
Yeah. Because everybody comes back from those journeys and they come back to the personality, the very thing that is the obfuscation of light. There's the sun, there's the sky, there's clouds. Your personality structure is the clouds. Your personality structure is the clouds. And you're looking up from the earth. Oh, Jesus, I hope that passes. I hope that passes. I hope that goes. And it keeps on moving, keeps on moving. This is a switcheroo from you being the sun. And you can spell it S-U-N if you want, or you can spell it S-O-N. See what happens. So the sun is blisteringly obvious in how much it loves you, because it's just shining on you all day, every day. It just shines on you. You don't even notice it. That's because homeboy's got you in the shell game, so you can't notice that the sun is shining on you, because he's getting you looking under here. I'm going to do this and I'll be okay. He's got you looking under that. I'm going to do... Look up. Look up. You're not the clouds. You're not the sky. This isn't what it seems to be. You're the light. You're the light. And when you get a smack of you're the light, it comes in through your body. It lights this place up differently. And the more that this is expressed, the more that the lie gets caught out. This isn't about beating anybody at a shell game. You walk away from the shell game. Because when you're at that bench and he's swapping these things out, take a look under his baseball cap. He looks like you. That's the problem. This is the intruder that's in your house. It's you. It's got your face. It sounds like you. It's got your problems. It's as real can be to you. This is the ending of all of that. When you move as light in this place, because why wouldn't you? Because that's what you are. You can have an effect. You can see the hologram will respond. It's when people understand the principle, the basic principle in physics of resonance, you start to understand that you're not going to have an agitation in your body and then do a course and then the law of attraction is going to kick in. It's not how this place works. It's not going to work. Resonantia is an aspect of physics that it's so beautifully freeing. When you have a tuning fork, 432 hertz, and you bounce it off the wall and you bring it close to the other tuning fork that's tuned to 432 hertz, it resounds, it's resonance. The resonance just starts to, so this starts to resonate with that. What do you think is coming? What do you think shows up in your world when you're resonating from lack? You have the radio station of lack broadcasting from lack FM in just an inch below your navel out into the world. So lack FM is broadcasting out into the world. What do you think comes back? What do you think that resonates with? Want, lack, victim, not good enough, guilt and shame, especially in female bodies, they're just way down with it. And if you've seemingly got a female body, you think you're going to drink your cacao, you're going to drink enough cacao to get out of it. You won't. It won't work. The activity needs to be dissolved. You need to not be moving out of that. You need to question it and go, I'm not that, obviously. So the plexus of neurons that are active have been active since 1979, 1989, 1999, whatever it is. That's your personality structure that's broadcasting from that second endocrine center all around that digestive tract and lower tract. And now you're beholden to its whims. And when you start broadcasting LAC FM out into the world, you think that LAC FM is going to find in the hologram abundance. It can't. Abundance is this frequency, and this frequency here is LAC. They are frequentially different. It's like me saying, I'm tuned into 98 FM, but I want to hear the music on FM 104.
Yes.
But what's being said here is stop trying to get to FM 104, detune 98 FM, turn it down, dissolve it, and then you'll start to hear the other stations. And I'm telling you, listen, when you start to hear the other stations, information from outside of the virtual reality helmet starts to come in. There's people that we know on the group that we're part of, and it's like, oh yeah, I saw this light, I saw this video. Hang on a second. What did you see? What did you see? So you're in your living room, you're sitting up straight, you got an eye mask on, and you're just arbitrarily saying, well, I saw this light and it moved this way and it came through my body. It's like, okay, hold up a second. Because that ain't the dude with the shell game. You see, you go in, you walk away from the game, and you'll see. And people, because they're so active in their peopling, think when they see that light that it's not them. That takes a second. Because you're going to start to understand the inextricable quality of when you saw that light, what you saw is what you are. That's what you saw. And when that, then the meditation process becomes an act of love for the world, an act of love for the hologram. You don't got to beat the shit out of the fellow with the shell game. You don't got to change laws. You don't got to change monetary policy. You don't got it. The church of all churches is on your couch. 4 a.m., 9 a.m., 4 p.m., it makes no difference. It's on your couch. It's the very work that you don't want to do, which is you don't want to shut the fuck up. You just want to keep on talking. You just want to keep on marinating in your fear and projecting it. You want to keep on talking from your lack and projecting it. And then you want to talk about why things aren't getting better. Things aren't getting better because you won't shut the fuck up. How do you shut the fuck up? Sit on your couch, put an eye mask on, put on blessings of the energy centers, and go to work. You'll be doing a service for this place like it's unimaginable. It's unimaginable what you're doing for this place when you don't allow yourself go in to the hologram with LAC FM. But it's real. It's as real can be. And my mama did the historicals and and then he said this to me and all fucking day, man. All day since 1985. Really? Shut the best spiritual thing. I've sung mantras into a pillow because I didn't want to wake Rachel. I've sung mantras into a pillow at a high clip at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I've screamed Sanskrit into pillows. Right? I've gone to places, just see what happens. And you can do that all day, every day. But you need to know that this hijacker knows Sanskrit. You just got to know it. This hijacker knows Sanskrit. This thing has been moving with your face and your voice through space-time, and you've been abusive in this way and this way and this way. But at the time when you were being abusive, this quotient of people here thought you were the business. They thought you were amazing. But over here, you're got. But then you hide that. That's what needs to come to the surface through the light of what you are. And it's literally it's when you see this, it's a gift that keeps on giving. So the work that I do with people is shoveling. Just shoveling. Just get rid of that. Okay, explore that, get rid of. Now what's there? Then they're there. I've done work with people, and I saw this one time where the deceit of the negativity wasn't indulged anymore. It walked out of this person's body. They sat up straight, and how they looked completely changed. The light that came into them, and what was interesting, they had nothing more to say. That's right. There's nothing more to say. Wholeness, unity, love, the love and light of what you are when it's present. You don't have any questions, because the only thing that it's going to want to do is love. Love is the hack of all hacks in terms of this shell game. That's the hack. And it has to be, people need to understand, it has to be felt. You have to feel it. And if you have to feel love for this place to change and for your system to change, then you need to get rid of everything that's anti-love to the best of your ability, so that you're at least traversing space-time with 70%, 60%, 70% is good, because that 51% changes the hologram. You just got to do your bit in your demographic with your people, because you'll see that when you're moving as love and light in this place, and it's sense felt in the body, the people you work with will get something particular from you that they can't get anywhere else. And you'll be able to help them into themselves. You'll be able to help them into themselves, and then they'll start to show up, and they'll start showing up, working with people, speaking with people from that light. And you don't ever jump in the sea with somebody that's drowning. You throw them the buoy in. You throw them the assistance, but don't jump in with them, because they're going to take you down with that. So you got to just throw them the thing, and they'll either get it or they won't get it. But you have nothing else to do other than just shine the truth. When you're immersed in the truth of what you are, you're immersed in the truth of what they are. So you're not buying it. It's just like all day. It's like you're just not buying the lack. You're not buying you don't even listen to it, because it's not true. Yeah, it's wild.
And when you walk away from the shell game and you begin to feel what you are, describe that to me. Tell me about that.
What's unbridled about it is when the Tommy structure has all the broadcasting qualities of a problem, and then when they get dissolved, meditation by meditation, sitting still by sitting still, and it's out of the way, what starts to shine, what starts to be quite obvious, and what starts to be seen is this energy has no other business in this place other than to love. It doesn't do anything else. It has no interest in anything else. Now, that's not to say that it won't open a bakery. It'll open a bakery, but that's going to be a different bakery. That's a different location in this place. So what happens is nodes will be conscious agents, will be placed in places like nodes in a mycelium network, and all you got to do is shine, which is your nature. That's your nature. The sun will teach you an awful lot about what this is. It indiscriminately shines the sun into this place all day, every day. Now, whether you notice or not, that's up to yourself. But when you start to really get, you're never going to feel as good as when you're loving another being. When it starts to broadcast a different signal, and you become very, very physically, your body becomes very, very addicted to oxytocin, serotonin, and there's also nitric oxide. And when your heart opens up, when that fourth energy center opens up, when the lower energy center's activity starts to deactivate, this just starts to open. You don't have to open your heart. Don't open your heart. Deactivate everything that is antithetical to the heart opening. So deactivate the negativity that's in the lower part of your body, and you'll see it just opens. So peace is the substrate of your being. This is not about you becoming peaceful. This is you knowing peace, knowing yourself as peace. This is not beads, bangles, and Buddhism. That's not what this is. This is Buddha. It's Buddha nature. Not a search. This is Buddha, not a personality doing Buddhism. This is not a search for Christ. This is Christedness. This is when you broadcast the negativity from your body, you can't see them. So when you start to dissolve the negativity, you can hear them. You can see them. And they're there. In this place, we can see a certain part of the light spectrum. And Richard Feynman said in a very famous BBC interview, he said, all the light that's on the other end of the light spectrum, it's there. It's really, really, really there. So if we can see a certain part of this light spectrum, and then the lower end is that lower red energy, that's where the shell game gets played. And then the upper part of the light spectrum, which you think you don't have access to, you do have access to. You just need to detune the red, detune it, and then you're going to see what people have pointed to, which is certain beings that would be depicted with halos. Why are they depicted with that light? They're depicted with a higher frequency of light. You'll see them. And then you'll come out of that meditation and people will say, you look so light. You look so different. Yeah. Because you're dissolving, you're being hit with a different frequency of light. You're going to see flashes of beings that are not visible in our light spectrum. And then when you start to see those flashes, you know that you're dissolving in a particular way, and then the information will start to make sense. So knowing the tree by its fruits will make sense because you've been to that, you've experienced that light. I and my Father are one. You're like, oh yeah, yeah, exactly. And you'll never successfully play the shell game in this place again. You won't be. It's just because you'll have. How can I sit in a meditation, put on an eye mask, and see what I see? Is there something special about the Tommy system that he can see more than you can see? No. No. Just sit and don't allow the shell game in your thoughts and feelings to ignite, and your body will start to relax, your autonomic nervous system will start to relax, the serotonin will start to swap out, the oxytocin will start to swap out, and then you'll see them. Then you'll see them. And I mean, I wasn't expecting to see them. I wasn't expecting to hear them. But I mean, when something's pushing through and is just looking at you, I don't, you come out of that, it's like, what just happened? Yeah, because higher frequencies in those higher spectrums of light can see us. We cannot see them because our whole sense perceptions are built to see within a particular type of light spectrum. There are women now that are starting to be able to see beyond the normal light spectrum. There's a special name for them. It begins with F. I'll text it to you later when I think about it. But there's now human beings that are evolving to see an extra color. These women can see an extra color, and it's amazing. So it's very, very interesting because when they start showing up in your meditations, it's not to compliment you. It's, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. You know, so, and you don't get to see him, them at 4 a.m. during a meditation and then go on a porn site at 4 p.m. No. Now you can knock yourself out, go on the porn site, act out, do whatever you need to do. Yeah, you think you're offering some relief to your system, you're offering agitation to your system. So go and do that and then see if you can see them then. I can't see them anymore. If you know what you can see, homeboy. Gotcha. Here's Pornhub. That's cool. Everybody does that. Cool. Just keep looking there. Keep looking there. So you won't see there. Because I don't want you to see there. That's what it is. So if you want to be the purveyor and the seller of that shell game, knock yourself out, because eternity was built for energy to go on and on, searching. Do what you like with it. But I can guarantee you that if you see a shard of light, you're going to understand why they were depicted with halos. It's not, this isn't like I've seen the light as in I've become enlightened. No, I mean, it's a light. It's like somebody turned a switch on, and it's like, the NDE people. So some woman is cycling down on her bike in Germany and she's getting sideswiped by a JCB, and she pops out. She just went down to Aldi for her shop, and now she pops out. She's 15 feet above her bike and she's like, It feels okay. I'm not sure what's happening quite now, but that kind of feels okay. And then what happens? Blackness. And then what happens? Then I saw this light and this like this and this like that, and they'd start talking about the light. Yeah. And then it feels like I was being pulled towards the light. So that light is it's light. It's not a metaphor when you see it. I've meditated on numerous occasions, dissolved, and I've seen it. So I have offered my system the ability to have an NDE without getting a bus in the side of the face. You don't have to get a bus in the side of the face. But I do strongly suggest you kill yourself because you're a fucking pain in the hole. You really are. I strongly suggest that you kill yourself by sitting on the couch and shutting the fuck up. Stop talking. Stop pouring bullshit into the world and start asking those ascended frequencies for some help, because you're not helping when you're broadcasting LAC FM. And this is how people want an ego death through smoking DMT. Just get on your couch at 4 o'clock in the morning. You'll see what DMT is all about. Your pineal gland, melatonin has offshoots. They're called calcite microcrystals. They're studied. They're in the shape of rhombohedrons. This can all be kind of checked and double checked. Dimethyltryptamine is one of those offshoots. This is why you get to see with that particular eye. Your pineal gland has rods and cones, the same way these have rods and cones, because your pineal gland is an eye that sees. It's how you close your eyes at night, you have a dream and you can see. But if you've got your eyes closed, how can you see? Your pineal gland has rods and cones, it's seeing out of the system. That's how it works. It's simple. So that DMT is how you're going to be able to catch a ride on their frequency. And it'll be the best ride you've ever gone on. Because you're not there. Your bullshit isn't there. Your negativity isn't there. Your want isn't there. The fight you've been having with your ma since 1995 isn't there. Yeah. In the court of light, everything's forgiven. You will move as forgiveness. You'll be forgiveness. You'll walk as forgiveness. And people will feel it off you. And you won't be going around thinking that you're holier than thou. You'll just be walking around not broadcasting your horseshit. So that's how you kill yourself. You don't have to do it through smoking DMT. You have to do it. If you have suicidal tendencies, suicidal thoughts, this, that, and the other, cool. I'll help you do it. I will meet you at 4 a.m. I'll sit on the couch with you and I'll tell you to shut the fuck up and meditate. And then you'll see that I'm right, and you'll see that every suicidal thought that's ever come into a young man's body has been the desire to awaken. So I can help you with that. I'll meet you. You're suicidal. Ring me up. I got you. I'll sit on your couch with you. No problem. I've seen it so many times. And when the ego gets burst by one of those shards, that's it. That tendency's just never there again. It's never there again. You're looking to be reborn. In order to be reborn, this has to be dissolved. Yeah. It's to the individual, seeming individual, it's very important. You don't have to keep wash, rinse, repeating in this place. You can be here as the love and the solution that this place needs. So I know what I'm doing. I'm 100% clear. All it took was for me to see one of them. Meditate. Eye mask, and then vump, right in front of me, looking. You ready? I'm like, what the? How's that work? Yeah, okay. and then more, and then more, and then more. Why? Because when you denature the negativity and the broadcasting radio station of LAC FM, you're going somewhere else. You're going to a higher, faster frequency. It's you don't have to tell the cork to float. Just let it go. And it's going to fly up to the top. And then you're going to get to the surface and you're going to be like, oh, all of this is here. Yeah. It's this, we have a sense there's a boundary around this place. There's a boundary around this place. It's very, very palpable. And just know that these energies they have nothing else, they've nothing better to be doing but helping you. So you might as well turn up towards them. That's their job. Why do 3 multiplied by 6 to 8 foot beings showing up, but there's one in the background, kind of quiet, not doing nothing? What's he doing? So there's one up the forefront, like, okay, you're just after getting a smack of a bus. You used to be a German woman. You're actually this. So we're going to just bring you through. This place is called the park. But there's one that's quiet, always in the background. There's always one that's quiet in the background. Yeah, they're training. They're training. What are they training to do? They're training to produce an indescribable love from them to you. Wow. They're training. They're trained. They're in the background watching. They're learning. Their frequency is rising. They're learning. And then over a period of that type of understanding, they go beyond that type of love. Just goes to a different frequency. And they're all the frequencies, even the earthbound Richard Feynman quantum physicist said, they're all there. They're all there. And you can get a hit of it now. And when you get a hit of it, you don't need to be looking for it in books in this place, because he's looking at you. Not kind of looking at you, looking at you right there. And you're like, okay, maybe Pornhub at 4 o'clock today is not the best idea. Maybe half an eclair and not 4 eclairs is a better idea. Why? Because they're all chopping the frequencies out of your connection. When you've got a connection to these frequencies, you're not going to want anything else. Because there is nothing else.
No, it's so true. There's nothing on this earth can entice you when you get a taste of what's real.
There's nothing like it. And when it chemically metabolizes in your body and you can feel this unblemished love for another person, you can see when you had, your body had something wrong with it and it was dripping with something wrong. When you sat in front of him, he didn't see it because it wasn't there. Because at the frequency from where they are, they shine. And when they shine, and it comes through their eyes, with some of them it comes through their hands, with some of them it comes through their heart, with some of them it comes through a hug. When it came through his eyes and it hit John, and John's there and he's fucking neck deep in leprosy thinking, how the fuck did I get here? You got there, John, because you're a dickhead that wouldn't go inside. Basically, John, that's the crack. And the teacher comes along, sits in front of you, and what does he not see? He doesn't see John. Because there's no John. John knows there's no John. Now that dissolves, and now everything that you were dripping with, whatever it is gone. How did that happen? Well, people might say, yeah, but that's bullshit. That's a story. No, it's not. Dr. Hamel Patel is studying exactly what I've just said in a California college in San Diego. It's being studied right now. That very process. The very process of a higher, faster frequency moving through a human being towards another human being it has an immeasurable effect. Immeasurable effect. But most importantly, John walks away from Yeshua, or John walks away from the carpenter and goes, I get it. I was always that. Yeah, John, you're not John. Yeah. So walks down through the village. There's 5 fellas at the shell game. Keeps on walking. That's it. That's how this place is all day, every day. It's going to look like magic. It's going to look like magic. But it's frequency. It's all frequency. It's a radio station. What's being broadcast in here is a very particular frequency modulation. When you see it, you can start to raise the frequency in your body, and then you'll start to outshine it. You'll get assistance because they're interested in everything raising. You're not going to be left. You won't be left to. There's so much help. There's just so much. But you got to get your eyes off the shell game to kind of get that help to move through you. And I mean, I get when a signal is sent from Love FM to where you find yourself, and you've just let go of Lack FM, so now you're like, this is going well. This is going really well. So Love FM sends you a shot. It'll send you an email. It'll send you a text message from someone. And it'll send you energy. It'll send you some sort of energy, and you'll be like, that's from there. Yeah, that's from there. Because now you're available. And you're going to walk. They don't want you thinking that they are your savior. They don't want that. They're like, listen, you got all the things that we got. We are just longer at it, more established. We understand that where you are is tricky. We get that we understand that. Some of us have done that. We get it. However, this is how this is. And when they start to have an interest, especially if you've got a big email list or you've got a demographic or you're working with people, and you start to not act out on the porn side at 4:00, you start to not eat the 4th eclair, you only eat 1/4. When you start to kind of get that your signal is very important, they're going to give you everything that you need to help people in this place. And when your body gets a hit of Love FM, you're not going to dial down. You're not going to lower your frequency anymore. This has been communicated very clearly to one particular person. They are not permitted to lower their frequency past a certain point because it becomes hurtful to them. So actually, the best day in this place is they can dip a little bit below the surface. They'll throw you a shot line. You'll get symbols. You'll get a text message. You'll get an email. But you need to know that's them. They're there. Yeah. And it's just, even if you understood it at the level of frequency, you'd know that it's true. You can sense it all around you. But when you wake up in the morning as the personality, you're putting a mask on. You're putting I'm Tommy, VAT, income tax, doing my, emailing this accountant, blah, 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 and that's what's real. No, there's no such a thing as income tax. Mushrooms aren't illegal. There is no VAT. You don't exist in the way you think. So shut the fuck up. Shut all the way up. Like all the way up, and get on the couch.
You selling couches or what?
Yeah. What is it? Des Kelly's.
There's so much to not say, but to feel and to know and to experience. You got to learn to listen, haven't you, T?
Quieten your system down as much as you can, and you'll be the better for it. Don't trust any information that's in 3D space and time that's been procured or being embellished by a human. Don't bother. Don't bother. They all think there's someone driving the bus here. Have you not noticed? There's no one driving the bus here. So I would turn up towards those higher frequencies, and it sounds a little bit sort of new age spiritual to be kind of guided, but it'll be direct. And the person that you meet in the store that needs your assistance, don't let the shell game trick you into not assisting. That's going to have a monumental effect on that lady. And then that lady's going to go home to that dog, and that's going to have a monumental effect on that dog. And it's going to have a monumental effect on that row of houses. And that's what it does. It's always looking to establish what it is in this place. And it establishes what it is by the negation of what isn't, which is the shell game.
I love your analogy. It makes it so easy to understand. Because when I just knew I was being lied to, but I couldn't find the lie.
Yeah.
My whole life, even as a kid, I was like, what they're saying is not real, and who they are is not real. Everything is school, doctors in coats. I could see it, but I had nothing to contrast it. There was no one thinking those things or saying them. And it's very much like the new Matrix movie where Neo, he knows, like the guy, he knows that you just know, but you can't seem to figure it out because the trick is so strong.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was a truth. I didn't know it was in me. I didn't know it was on the inside, but I knew there was a truth. I thought it was God would show me the truth. The light would show me the truth. Yeshua would show me the truth. And all they did was guide me in and in. And then I went in. And when I went in, I thought, I get the relief, Tommy. It's just the relief.
Oh, man.
Like all of the sitting on the sofas, all of the meditations, all of the shut the fuck ups. Because personality is so strong. I love when you say just shut the fuck up, because it's like, because most people are like, sorry,
Yeah.
You just need to stop talking, because you're reiterating the problem. For me,
exactly.
The reward is the relief. Like, I want to be on the earth. When I'm not in, I don't want to be here. No.
Why would you?
Why would you? So for someone who had 20 years of depression, I was depressed because I knew I was being lied to, but I couldn't find the lie. Because every single thing was amplifying that lie. There was no shards of truth coming through.
Yeah.
And then when I went in, and as you said, the light showed up, and you got to learn to engage with that in your own way. And that takes a bit of time. And then the relief comes. And then when the relief comes to you, you want to be the relief. You want to show people that, look, this is what it looks like.
I don't leave the spot.
Yeah, you don't leave the spot.
I don't care what the compulsion is. I'll stand and meet it at any time of day or night, and it will not win. It just won't. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. How come? Understand the word negation. Just understand the word negation. I'll give you an example of what it means. Negation means, let's say, in relation to ketosis in the blood. Negation means not that, not that, not that, and not that. Ketosis doesn't mean do this, do this, do this, do this. It just means not that, not that, not that, not that, and fast. And fast. What are you fasting from? The world. You're fasting from the world. So you fast, and you'll see the higher, faster frequency comes into your body, and it's ketosis. So the ketones come into your body, and then all of a sudden, within 3 days, autophagy. And autophagy, autophagy means, it's Greek, it means to eat yourself. It means to eat yourself. So you start eating your own fat reserves, you start to lose weight, and cancers, they can't propagate. They just can't propagate, because cancers propagate in a world. Stop feeding the body what it wants, and then it'll get what it needs. Enter into a process of fasting, even a little bit, like intermittent fasting, and see what happens. When you start getting high energy, what is that? But the other thing is, when you go and eat a carbonara and it feels half an hour later like you've smoked heroin, what is that? Where is it bringing you? Well, there's the spectrum. There's higher, there's lower. You ate the carbonara, you're lower. So now you're susceptible to Pornhub, because it's a frequential match. You're just after banging that tuning fork, and that tuning fork is abusiveness. Lovely. Let's have a carbonara and abuse. Let's do that. No problem. But you don't get to go out into the world and complain and say things aren't going well for me. Of course they're not. You're just after hoovering a carbonara, and you're after being on Pornhub for the last 2 hours. So it's not going to go well for you. So fast. Fast. Shut the fuck up and fast. Yeah, then do it fast. Yeah.
So with your people who come to you for assistance and you say, shut the fuck up, do you have many clients working like that?
Yeah. So I think it's tricky for some people, because they're like, yo, what? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Stop. Greetings.
Yeah. Fucking namaste, my Irish arse. Get the fuck out of here. Do you know what I mean? You're not gonna namaste your way out of this. You think the prince of all princes that's knocking out that shell game, you don't think that he didn't see your kimono coming? Homeboy sees your kimono, he sees your poncho, he sees your plant medicine. He's got you by the bollocks before you've even thought about the next move. He's got you.
Wow.
So you're got. So what you need to do, spot the game, walk away, shut the fuck up. Don't do what you want to do at 4 o'clock. Don't do it. You want to go and have that glass of wine? Okay. Don't have 6. What are you doing with 6? Because you don't get to have 6 on a Friday and then wake up on a Saturday and say all your problems out to the world. Shut the fuck up, man. Stop talking. Stop with the fucking, it keeps going. Stop. Like, sit up straight, put an eye mask on, send me a text, and I'll sit beside you. But I ain't listening to you. I'm done. I am done.
You just don't play the game.
No, I don't.
On any level.
No way. No. I've got this problem, that problem, and the other problem. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Well, my mom sent me this text, and she sent you that text in 1995. It's 2023. So what should I do about it? Shut the fuck up. Which means stop. Stop. When it comes up in you and the neuropeptide wants to get past your brainstem and it wants to make you out to be a victim to your mom's text in 1995, stop it.
Yeah, but aren't they addicted to that shit?
Yeah, because the chemistry is highly addictive.
Tell them about that. Tell us about the addictive chemistry, because people don't know they're addicted to their negativity. They just think life's shit.
Yeah, and the thing about speed, like the drug speed that you took in Playa de las Americas in the year 2000 when you were walking along and you thought you were the shit and you scored some speed and you took that speed on a Thursday and you thought you were the bollocks, and you woke up the next day and you were like, this is really bad. Like, I want to go home. Come Friday, 6:00, the music's jamming. You think you're cool again? I'm fucking all right. There's that fella that's got that speed. Boom, off you go again. Saturday morning, you wake up. It's like, I want to go home, man. And that's a cycle. It's an addiction cycle. Now, it's really easy to see that it might be a good idea to not score the speed. It might be an idea to not do that. So what does that mean in relation to inner work? You're snorting lines of lack. You're snorting lines of victim. You're snorting lines of negativity all day, every day. And it's in a particular form. It's called cortisol. It's called adrenaline, and it's called noradrenaline. And that chemistry of the fight or flight system, the sympathetic nervous system, that's where you're going to score this stuff, this drug. When you have an episode of guilt and you've snorted guilt and shame and lack because you've allowed yourself to think and feel and think in a very particular way, what happens to you is you'll come down, you'll be grand again on Friday. But then someone sends you a text on Saturday and the guilt starts looking out of your body going, here we go. And then cortisol. Now the fight or flight system's lit up again, and you're literally snorting guilt, shame, negativity all day, every day. You're allowing yourself to do it. And then what you got to do is you got to go out into the world and get relief. So you'll have 6 glasses of wine. You won't be able to have one because that's not going to do the moonshot for you. You need to get the fuck out of yourself. So you're going to use whatever mechanism you can. So it's going to be pouring 6 glasses of wine and a Lion bar. So you're John Travolta in your gaff, right? You're lit up. But really, you're the problem. You're the problem. You are the problem that's billowing into the world. You're the problem that you don't want to get rid of. Get rid of the problem. Start questioning who and what you are. Do not let the chemistry of what you're not drag you around space-time. When your body says to you, act out with porn at 4:00, don't do it. See what happens. Because you're going to meet someone. He's got a baseball cap. He's sitting in New York on the side street. And he's like, what do you mean you don't want to play? You'll fucking play. You'll play. It's acting out time. This is what we do at 4:00. It's cool. Okay. Don't go to Pornhub. Bang. Swip the game. Go here. That's different. That's different. That's better. Yeah. Now you're in the game. You have to know that that chemistry is trying to drag you down to the lower part of the light spectrum. Call them what you want. I know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I've seen the depths of where those types of addictions can go. And you need to understand that the chemistry in your body, the fight or flight system's chemistry in your body is what takes you there. It's what takes you there. And you don't have to be beholden to your body being your unconscious mind. How about what you are coming in, the light of what you are shining like the sun shines indiscriminately on earth? How about that shining? And how about not going out with your mates on Friday? Not doing it tonight. Do something else. See what happens and see who you meet, because he's coming. And you need to have the balls to know that he's going to come and he's going to look like you. And he's going to play you and work you all day, every day. But you're very, very compromised, and you need to start not allowing the body to drag you around from here to there. Stop letting the body do what it wants. It's like this body, mind, and unconsciousness gets unleashed at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age during the 0 to 7 period. and it just gets unleashed. And you need to be the parent that you never had. You need to be the guide that you never had. You need to be the spiritual teacher that you never had. And you need to do it by disallowing and disavowing your activity. You're going to feel better. You know, it's going to get tricky. When you enter into this particular river of change that you understand, Biba, and that I understand, you're going to meet everything that wants a piece of you, you're going to meet. Every single thing is coming.
It's a bitch.
It really is. Mm-hmm. It really is. And it's going to throw up the pattern from 1985 into 2023. You're going to be like, okay, I know what I have to do here. What do you have to do? You have to be in 2023 that which you could not be in 1985. That's why it's repeating. It's repeating because it needs to be stopped. How does it need to be stopped? You need to not indulge in the chemistry. You need to say what you need to say when you need to say it. You need to say it in the way that it comes from that higher frequency, which is, I'm sorry, but I'm not doing this with you because it is like those beings. It's my frequency getting lowered into this marsh. No, it's not going to help you. I'm actually not going to be able to help you if I get down into that with you. I won't be able to help you. So do you want to go out for a drink? Do you want to go out for a meal? Fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like,
no, I don't.
Of course you don't.
No, but what's lovely actually is for anyone who's curious, because I've done a lot of work with you. I've done quite a few sessions with you, and we've become good friends. And one of the halfway through the work, really, I found my question was more like, how do I not drop my frequency? I know what I'm doing. I'm doing the work. I'm tuning in. I'm getting the downloads. All of that's happening. It's all amazing. But then there comes a point where I'm getting triggered back in.
Yeah.
I need to get rid of my triggers. And you particularly have been the only help in this space with that.
Gotcha.
Your help, your wisdom, your intuition, your abilities, you happen to nail it for me so specifically. Like Biba, if you do 1 + 1, you're going to get 2. In you setting it my terms relatable to me. So I've been able to have a nice steadiness. And sometimes I'll ring you and I'll go, help, what do you think? And you're just like, I don't think. Like, you just don't you take no shit, you see. I like that. You just don't, if I say something that's from a lower energy center, you don't even respond. You just go quiet. So I'm thinking, okay. And so I now know that, like you said, you don't get into the sea with them. You throw them a life jacket, because I would, as an empath, you just get in, right?
Yeah.
And that's habitual too, by the way. That's like addicted to, that's like that's like a response. You don't even know you're doing it. And so I've learned how to keep my frequency high. But that's a daily practice for me. It's not like I'm there. I don't think I ever get there. And also, Tommy, how would you, in your own words, say if someone was curious about you, they like you, and they're thinking, I like how straight up this guy is, and he might be able to help me. What is, like, when you came to my house the first time, I didn't, because you're called velvetvoice.ie. So I thought I was going to have to sing. I thought, are you going to get me to sing? I didn't know what you did. I thought sing. I hope I don't have to sing. I'm a bit self-conscious, But all I knew is I wanted to work with you. And then you came to my house and you sat on my sofa and I listened to you. And I'll never forget how I felt when I started listening to you. I couldn't believe that you were articulating my entire reality to me. No one had ever done that before. And then I thought, this guy knows. He just knows. And I felt what you felt. You were mirroring to me what I was, and I could feel that. And I don't know how to describe what you do, Tommy. I haven't got a clue. But for anybody who might just want to check it out, what would you say, or how would you?
There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. You can jump on the monthly group that we do called the Superhero Satsang. So you can go to velvetvoice.ie and you can go to the Superhero Satsang and you can jump into the bigger circle. If you don't want to do some one-to-one stuff yet, you can jump into the bigger circle. And what's happening in that circle is it's just beautiful what's happening, what's showing up. If you feel drawn to just doing like a tester session with me, there's one called the Novice, and it's at velvetvoice.ie. You'll see the services, and there's one called the Novice. Just do that to check it out. It's like an hour-long session, and it will cater to the particular set of circumstances that you're broadcasting. So what I do is I hear what you're broadcasting, find out where it's being broadcast from, show it to you, get rid of it so something else can be instantiated, and then you'll know the tree by its fruits after doing that so many times. And it becomes very, very obvious to people after a certain amount of time when they've done work with me that it had nothing to do with me. I love not being part of it. I have nothing to do with it. Nothing. I have no interest in it. I've never had an interest in it. I just sit down, it works, and that's the way it is. And it's like, I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care what you think about it. The sound that you're making is the sound that you're making. I'm going to show you the sound that you're making, and then you can do whatever you want with that, but it will be accurate. That's a snare drum, that's a saxophone, that's a clarinet. Don't be telling me it's a violin. It ain't a violin, that's a snare drum. That's the sound that you're making. And if you want that to change, well, then we need to get rid of the drumstick. And that's what we do. And that's how it works. And it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting because the people that I've done work with are established so much inside of themselves now that they're like, I kind of understand why I went and sat with Tommy, but I understand that what I needed was from me. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the real work, isn't it? When someone knows that it's them. I personally suggest you just go in. I just go for things. I just intuitively know what I'm doing, and I think just do the full session. Like go in for a few hours and just get whatever's coming
You're
through.
brave, though.
I am. I love a challenge because last time you came, when you sat on my sofa last time, and you said, "Listen, Biba, just remember this is not from me, but I have a message for you." I was in. Oh, I could tell by your tone. You didn't want to say it, And I was like, go on. And then you said it. And I was like, Tom, and you were like, it didn't come from me. And I knew it didn't. And you always hit. It's like you just get a bullseye every time. And watching you work has enabled me to become more excellent in my own work. Watching
and that's very, very obvious.
Yeah.
That's very obvious. The work that you're doing, how you're affecting people, how you're working with people is probably the most satisfying feeling that I could have. Your work is satisfying me. Go do the math. Anybody that's listening, go do the maths on that. How come my friend Biba does the work that she does in the world and it makes me feel satisfied? What is that? That's called oneness. That's what that's called. It's called wholeness. It's called unity. It's called her happiness, and her work is everything to me. There is nothing else. There's nothing else. So when you're doing what you do from where you do it from, and it's a clean signal, there's nothing better. It's like we just keep going with that. And we know a lot of people similar. We know a lot of the same people. Look what's happening, man. Look what's happening with these people. It's like, I'm one of them in particular. I'm like, you're doing what? With who? Where? How many people? 50 people. Now there's 100 people. It's like, it went from 3 people. And yeah, exactly. Because this signal is really addictive. Yeah, it's really addictive.
I love you.
I love you too.
I just love you. And thank you for talking and coming on. And it's a real honor to know you too. I love you to bits. You're so real. I have to
I,
have real in my life because it's so. When we get to see the light that we are, we crave realness.
mm,
Because we've been so absent. It's been so absent in our realities that when you get the truth and when you get the light, that's all you want. You don't
mm,
want the darkness anymore.
mm,
You don't want the bullshit. You don't want the lies.
mm,
And you're one pillar of truth, and you say it as it is. And for me, that's essential because I know that you will never ever say anything to me that isn't profoundly beautiful and true and real.
mm, mm.
That's important for
Yeah,
the personality to hear that,
yeah, yeah,
to remember that you're not Biba, there is no sky. Biba, there is no floor. So I'm meditating
yeah,
going,
yeah,
there is no floor, there is no bed. And then suddenly I'm in. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. And those tests were all done, by the way. They're all done. So they're known. This is not Tommyisms. I've no interest. I'm not a quantum physicist. So like, if you were to wrap this whole session up with us, and you were to just, if somebody was to take something away, just, there is no floor. That's it. There's no floor. Just sit with that. Just sit with that. See where that
yeah,
goes. See what there is.
yeah,
Then it'll start to open. Mm.
yeah. So maybe we chat again sometime.
Oh, I'd love to do that. I love chatting with you.
Been-
You're great
Yeah,
at
we'll
the
come back.
chats.
You're great at the chats. I've learned to be a good listener too.
You're pretty skillful at this podcasting business.
We'll see how it goes, huh?
Exactly.
And I'll
Nice one.
put all your details in the
Oh, cool. Thanks very much. In the thing,
in the
the swirly
in
thing.
the over and out.
Okay. God bless you.